Hey guys, and welcome back to another episode of DGS. So we hit to be continued before we finished when we finished the last one, and we have now retrieved the small box, which is more than likely a music box disc. Because why would we need to get that box? And the fact that we have a music disc, that's so important. It has to be a music box disc, even though it hasn't said it in here. Oh no, the volume's really loud. Also, really long loading. Ooh, this is cool.
So then, this is the small box that Mr. Mangadol had dropped off at that pawn shop.
Wait, let me check the volume. And on the night of the murder, this small box was the only item that the intruder who broke into the pawn shop touched.
Quick, let's open it!
Yep.
This isn't just a normal box.
That's more or less what I figured, but it appears to be a portable music box.
A music box, you say? So then, you don't mean...
It's a device for playing this disc. That's what we must assume.
The disc that Mr. Mangadol had that pawn shop hold for him 2 months ago.
To be precise, it didn't belong to Mangadol. It's the disc he killed the victim to steal.
But why on earth was a mason trying to sell a music box disc?
I believe that if we listen to the music recorded on this disc, we'll have our answer.
Very well. Then tell us. Then let us listen to this troublesome disc with this music box.
Gregson?
One moment, please, Your Honor. What is it, witness? That music box has nothing to do with this case. I don't see any reason why this proud court would need to bother listening to music.
This disc was important enough to be a motive for murder. There's more than enough possibility that it's connected to this case. The prosecution has no particular objection to it.
But for starters, that evidence was
Obviously, something is going on at Scotland Yard, but as the prosecution for this case, I naturally have the obligation to completely investigate every piece of evidence. And you cannot get in the way of that.
Wah!
What the heck is going on?
Now then, let's try playing the music box.
And I bet it's not music. That's so cool. It's like Morse code almost.
What's this? I don't believe anyone could call this music.
That's true. It's just a random string of the same sound over and over. Rupert?
Witness?
How amusing. It seems that this music box is out of order. Am I not correct? Shh, no it's not. It's definitely not. Out of order? That's ridiculous. Yes, that's right. Or else the bird-brained bailiff who was bringing it back here dropped it on the way, or the like.
It seems that, most unfortunately, this music box won't be providing us with any clues.
No, we're keeping that box here. Hold on.
Your thoughts, defense?
I wonder about that. It's true that with it making a sound like that, all I can think is that it's completely broken, but it's not broken! The sound the music box is making has a new clue. It has no meaning, has meaning, has meaning, has meaning! Naturally, it has meaning. That's what the defense believes.
What? But this is just noise. What possible meaning could it have?
It's true that what it sounds like. It's true that's what it sounds like, but there's just one thing that's bothering me. Smug expression on Clougry-san's face, and beside him, Detective Gregson's troubled expression. It looks like the detective knew about the music box, and he still seems wary of something. In that case, we asked you again, Japanese boy. Yes. I feel like I'm in, like, a stage of Jeopardy here. I'm on the show of Jeopardy right now. Or not Jeopardy. But you get what I mean. What sort of clue do you propose this broken-sounding noise might offer? It may be that the sound this music box is making is, because it's broken, just that type of music. It's not music. It may be called a music box, but music isn't the only thing it can play. Clougry's smirk vanished instantly. I thought so. I must be on the right track.
Woohoo! Making a deduction from your opponent's reactions. You know, Naruhodō-kun, you're a lot like Meowzy.
Not just music, you say? What do you claim it is then, Japanese boy? Well, as long as you're unable to give a definite answer, those vague words of yours won't even be accepted as a claim. Precisely. Just admit it, that music box is broken. Damn it, a definite answer?
Hey, Naruhodō-kun. I was just having a look at this music box, see? I'm pretty sure it isn't broken.
What?
This music box isn't even capable of making any other sounds but the same one over and over.
Thanks, Iris-chan. Definitely Morse code. This is still cool though, like visually. If this music box isn't broken, then this sound must be something other than music. What if the sound is...
Say, Naruhodō-kun, I just had a thought. I feel like I've heard a sound just like this one very recently.
A sound just like this one, huh?
Juror 5?
Actually, Iris-chan, I was just thinking the exact same thing.
Now then, the court will hear the defense's final answer. If the sound this music box is making isn't music, what on earth does it mean?
All the evidence and testimony up to this point might all be pointing to a single answer. The prosecution requests that you present evidence, Japanese boy. Evidence that substantiates your claim. Understood. This might be my chance to launch the perfect attack. This should tie everything together. The evidence linked to the true nature of the sound made by the music box is... We're going to present the newspaper.
That's this morning's paper? Pickpocket girl slaughters upstanding pawn shop owner. That headline features rather prominently.
No. The important part is the article on the other side.
The other side? Spies inside Ministry of Justice? Top secret information possibly leaked abroad. That's The major incident the Yard is investigating with all its might at the moment.
Information was stolen from the confidential line the government uses to transmit international telegrams, and then leaked abroad. That's the rumor, anyway. Telegram refers to a type of telecommunication, right? Precisely. Juror 5, may I ask you something?
Ah, yes. What's this all of a sudden?
You work at the same telegraph office as Mr. Cloudgy, right?
Yes, that's right.
And the telegraph office where you work is responsible for the communications of a city ward containing important official offices and newspaper headquarters, right?
It is indeed. Such telegraph offices are in a league of their own.
Doesn't the sound remind you of anything?
Huh? Don't tell me this is...
That's right. It sounds like the telecommunications you're tapping out. Morse code, if I'm not mistaken?
Huh?
Telecommunications information was stolen from the Ministry of Justice. Such a thing should be entirely possible for an outstanding telegraph operator, should it not? The engravings on this disc. You're saying it's the international telegram information that was stolen from the Ministry of Justice?
Order! 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 But that would be treason against the crown. It's a crime punishable by death.
Oh, what is this? Treason? Punishable by
I like how
death?
that's what he cares about. I've had enough of this revolutionary's feigned innocence.
Information from the Ministry of Justice private line. Enemy nations would likely be willing to pay quite a sum for that.
And 2 months ago, that's precisely the transaction that was occurring on the omnibus. However, when Mr. Mangodal died, that disc was held at the pawn shop.
Ah.
If that's the case, the culprit responsible for stealing that information must have been quite nervous. After all, if that were discovered here in Great Britain,
They'd undoubtedly be found guilty of treason against the crown and be hanged.
that's why that person had to steal it back at all costs. And in order to do so, the culprit broke into a closed pawn shop in the dead of night. They absolutely had to recover this item left behind after Mr. Mangodal's death. What do you have to say for yourself, Cloudgy-san? Gotcha.
You think I stole state secrets? Laughable. It's too laughable for words. You don't seem to be prepared to admit to the defense's accusations just now.
Of course not. I wasn't saying anything, so he made up some convenient trivial about me. In that case, you may refute his claim to your heart's content. The prosecution would like you to testify about the defense's accusation.
Very well.
Oh shit, how are you gonna come back from that, buddy?
The topic of this trial is the murder of the pawn shop owner, Mr. Hatch. Naturally, murder is a grave offense worthy of a death penalty, but at the same time, treason against the crown is an equally serious crime. Keep that in mind as you testify.
Yeah, you're kind of fucked if you're gonna try to lie yourself out of this, man.
Now,
Let us chime in on that testimony, yeah?
What?
you?
Name's Nemi Templar. Occupation, villain.
I'm Terry Templar, but
I am not evil enough to sell out my homeland.
Right, and together we're known as... the Three Templar Brothers!
Poor Gregson.
This is no time for that!
Poor Gregson. Rebuttal. Let's do it. Rebuttal for the defense. A mere telegraph operator has no means of stealing government information. There isn't even Morse code recorded in that music box disc. The one making deals with that man was the Mason. It has nothing to do with me.
2 days ago, we snuck into the pawn shop as part of this bloke's plan.
If we had known we were selling out our country, we would have never gone with him.
Did they just sell him out? Oh my god! What just happened? I thought they were gonna defend him!
Witness. Templar.
I will speak on behalf of the Templar Brothers.
I'd just like to confirm. Are you confessing? When you broke into the victim's shop on the night of the murder, Mr. Clogry was with you, forming a group of 3.
Yes, sir!
I can't believe this.
Order! Well, Mr. Clogry. I don't know these men.
Oi! You got a lot of nerve dragging us into something twisted like this! You didn't say nothing about something or other against the crown, or whatever that tricky word was!
On top of that, the old bloke who owned the shop hit the dust! Bloody awful that is!
Looks like he's been totally betrayed.
Anyway, I have no intention of admitting anything. I never would have dreamed that this music box might end up being so monumentally important. The court accepts it into evidence.
Small music box, pawned 2 months ago along with the black coat. Only plays 1 note. Alright, you son of a bitch. We're dealing with you now. I think I only have time to actually go through this, so... The incident in the newspaper article really happened, right?
How should I know that?
What do you mean?
Government correspondence is handled by top-class specialist telegraph operators. Telegraph office engineers aren't permitted to handle such sensitive information.
No, that's absolutely not true.
That voice. Juror 5.
You telegraph office engineers aren't exactly insignificant. The telegraph office engineers help with the installation and maintenance of the Ministry of Justice's telegraph machines. And I believe you're the engineer team leader, Mr. Clogry.
I love this! No matter what Clogry is saying, everyone is telling him he's speaking bullshit. I love it. That's pretty remarkable.
Well, he's an outstanding engineer. He's what I aspire to be.
That's great, Juror 5, but don't become a criminal.
So, in other words, he had the opportunity to get close to government communications equipment.
However, the contents of the correspondence are top secret. There's no way for us to find it out. Besides, the correspondence is all transmitted in code. It's impossible to crack.
No, that's absolutely not true. You participate in meetings regarding communications technology with the government transmission unit. You offer your advice to prevent important international communications from failing to reach their destination. Besides, you've won first place at the office code cracking event 5 years in a row.
Juror 5 is just chewing him out. I love it. That's pretty remarkable.
Well, he's an outstanding engineer. He's what I aspire to be.
I beg you, kindly shut your gob.
Looks like she picked a very strange role model.
Anyway, this defense attorney's accusations aren't even worth discussing.
It's not? That much is obvious just from listening to the sound this music box makes. You don't say. Don't tell me you don't even know Morse code. That's what you call a look of absolute disdain.
If you like, I can explain it simply to you.
Juror 5.
Morse code is essentially made up of 2 types of sounds.
2 types of sounds.
A short beep and a long beep. Depending on how you combine them, they indicate letters.
Huh.
For example, that's A. This is B. And so it continues. By the way, this music box makes only 1 type of sound, correct?
But that strange rhythm sounds so much like Morse code. At the very least, the arrangement of these sounds have no discernible meaning. In other words, this is not Morse code. No way! Obviously. After all, that music box is nothing but a broken hunk of rubbish. You best start by learning the basics of Morse code. Damn it! I have no way to reply to that.
I get here feeling like you were really close.
Iris-chan.
If we could assume that this music box was used in the exchange of top secret information, it would tie things up so neatly, wouldn't it?
I wonder about this music box. Is it really impossible to use it to make Morse code? I don't have that yet. We're going to examine it first, so let's do it. Hold that phone. Hold that phone. We're going to answer that in a second. We're going to look at this music box one more time. So, okay, so Morse code is supposed to make 2 sounds then. So what if this music box has another compartment? What if it plays 2 music boxes, 2 music discs? Huh?
What is it, Naruhodō-kun?
It's just this music box. It looks like it can be opened from this side too.
Ah, you're right. Go on, Naruhodō-kun. Let's open it, quick.
Just a second. Ah, there we go.
There's a music box on this side too.
I wonder, if we put another disc in here, could we play it?
It kinda looks like these 2 machines work together in order to function.
Work together?
If you put 2 discs in, you can play them both at the same time.
So this is another machine to make the music box play, huh?
And the comb teeth inside are all the same length.
So if we put a disc in there, it would only make 1 type of sound.
That's right. But if we compare the length of the teeth in this machine with the length of the teeth in the machine on the other side, they're totally different. So I think they'll make 2 different types of sounds.
Eh?
So each side of this music box will make only 1 type of sound.
And both sides of sound will be different from each other. A music box that plays 2 different types of sounds. Alright, we got this now. So, let's go back to the question. Admit it's impossible, indicate the possibility. It is possible that this music box was used in a communications record transaction. That is the defense's belief. How many times must you repeat the same drivel before you're satisfied, Japanese boy? In order to create Morse code, you'll need both short beeps and long beeps. I'm aware of that. What?
It seems that the defense has some thoughts on the matter. The court would like the defense to point it out then. Currently, this music box makes but one sound. How could it be used to create Morse code?
Alright, so now we're gonna go back into that and open it again. Going through this dialogue.
What's this? There appears to be a second music box on the opposite side.
What? Apparently, these music boxes work together in order to function properly. In other words, if you put 2 discs in this music box, it'll play 2 sounds at once.
Ah!
Morse code is composed of 2 sounds, short beeps and long beeps. If you assume there were 2 discs, then it would be possible to exchange information with it. Would you put an end to your foolish chatter? Cloughy-san. That the defense attorney doesn't have a shred of evidence to substantiate his claim. Of course. If a second disc were to be presented, it would be a different matter. Well, I don't have anything to present right now. Oops. Besides, the witness brings up one more valid point. He was not the one exchanging discs with Meowzy 2 months ago.
It was Mr. Mortar, the mason, wasn't it?
That's right. I had nothing to do with that.
The defense presented an incredibly intriguing possibility, but it seems that the cross-examination should be continued.
Cloughy-san and the victim 2 months ago. I still haven't found the connection between them.
Ah. We need at least one clear bit of proof, don't we? Now then, the witness will return to his testimony.
Well, my claim hasn't changed in the slightest. God damn it, just admit it, you stubborn bastard! 2 months ago, Meowzy stabbed the victim and stole the disc. Apparently Mortar the Mason was a laborer of few words, solitary and impoverished. Several years ago, he lived in the laborer's village, but no one knew much about him. But when you think about it, it seems like it would be awfully difficult for a Mason to get his hands on government information. It certainly does, doesn't it? Someone else must have been secretly involved in that transaction. It was that person who gave Mortar-san the disc and made him conduct the transaction with Meowzy. That's what we can conclude. Oh dear. You're welcome to hate me all you like, but it won't change a thing, you understand? A mason living in a laborer's village, and a telegraph operator lives in London. Only I had a piece of evidence that could prove a link between them. Was Cloughy negotiating with him? I mean, we have to prove that. I'm assuming he just went to negotiate, even though they're like from completely opposite sides of the world.
Now then, the next witness may continue the testimony.
These two are great! When you say this bloke, naturally you're referring to Cloughy-san, right?
Yeah, obviously I mean that Cloughy-san. We thought he'd finally came to pay us a visit again, but he just wanted to talk about this incredibly risky job. Ain't that right, Rubart?
One moment, please. What do you mean, again? Do you know Cloudgray-san?
We're awfully kind villains, see? So we're old mates.
Eh? Is everything alright, Templar-san?
What do you want?
Sorry. I meant the Templar-san beside you.
Oh, you mean me?
When you heard Nemi-san's statement just now, you lapsed into thought.
Well, see, I was just taking a little trip down memory lane. We are brothers and that bloke there. He used to make games of playing pranks and such, see?
By that bloke, you must mean Cloudgray-san.
Yeah, him. He looks posh right now, but he was raised a poor downtown dweller like us.
Is that so?
That bloke's always been clever, see? So he was always coming up with stuff we could never have.
Yeah, I remember. Like the Milverton and Templar Dairy Company.
Milverton?
That was a stroke of genius, that was.
Save your wordless reminiscing for after the trial. And those fruits, too.
Well, Blackie the lawyer was the one who asked.
That's right. We ain't done nothing wrong.
Now then, with the pleasant feelings brought on by reminiscence, let us return to the testimony.
There's something about that juicy sounding reminiscence. Have it added to the testimony? Forget about it. Milverton! Ah! Okay, add it to the testimony. Your Honor.
Yes, defense.
The witness's reminiscence. No, the statement was incredibly important.
Very well. All right, witness. Add that reminiscence to your testimony. The abridged version.
Templar! Milverton and Templar Dairy Company. Those were the days.
Okay, we will press and continue on to this in the next video because we are running out of time, unfortunately. Milverton, though, I know I've heard that name somewhere. Also, why Milverton? Isn't Calgary like, isn't Rupert like Calgary? Okay, I don't know. We'll get to that in the next video. See you guys then.